The following is a presentation of the Pro Wrestling Report. Informative, entertaining, and real since 1998. Welcome to PWR Be the Booker, the only way to preview pro wrestling pay-per-view events with the Booker man himself, David Hero.
Why? I'm wearing a TNA t-shirt.
Well, that's why we're doing Be the Booker. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Be the Booker for TNA Genesis, which is live Sunday night on pay-per-view.
How I get the free stuff.
Damian Nelson standing alongside David Hero. Well, you didn't want to do it for Final Resolution.
But that was before I cut the deal to get, some TNA merch.
In this episode, what we do is we look at the upcoming pay-per-view event, and that one books it, as he would do as a booker, the Booker of Great Lakes Championship Wrestling. And an interesting pay-per-view coming up this Sunday at Genesis from Orlando, Florida. And as the disclaimer is always said here on Be the Booker, this is for entertainment purposes only.
Entertainment purposes only.
Unless, of course, he happens to get it right, and then he takes credit for predicting, even though these aren't predictions.
It's not a prediction, it's just how it should be done.
Let's go to the first match, and it is the Pope versus Devon. I never told everybody who trained me for my matchup with Kevin Thorne, or I'm sorry, my match
Why
with Chris
would you?
Masters.
It didn't end very well for you.
Because well, I was trained to wrestle Chris Masters. I was laser focused on a particular competitor, and then you threw a swerve at me. The Pope was one of my trainers.
Card subject to change. That's how it works.
You don't have to give them notice, but you have to give the talent notice.
Gotcha. Okay.
Pope versus
Pope
Devon.
and Devon.
There's some kids involved.
Devon's kids?
Yeah.
And they're aligned with the Pope.
Yep. He's a father figure.
I guess so. I mean, really, I just don't see the benefit of having this match. I mean, neither one of these two guys are going to be going into any world title picture anytime soon. I think they're just throwing a bone to Devon, maybe to help him work with the Pope.
There's some reason we see a lot of these two. I don't know what that reason is, but I'm not knocking it, by the way. It's a great story. I think it's dragged out.
Is it a great story?
It's dragged out entirely
It's
too long.
been going on since August.
Yeah, it's dragged out entirely too long. But we do get to see the Pope on pay-per-view.
Yeah. Here we go. I do this because nobody cares. Okay? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. And I'm not knocking the talents of either one, but people are not buying Genesis or trying to find a free stream to watch this match.
David Hero picking Devon to win that particular match.
The money is down here and right there. And that's what the people want to see.
And the next match, ladies and gentlemen, is James Storm versus Kurt Angle. There's some long, drawn-out drama between these two as well, but you've got a great wrestler in Kurt Angle, and what many people may not know, an equally great wrestler, or almost equally great wrestler in James Storm.
One of the problems with this match is that apparently people in TNA were not pleased with the last time James Storm and Kurt Angle had a match. They felt it wasn't where it should have been. I couldn't tell the difference. I thought it was pretty solid. But if you're going to get James Storm back into this world title picture up here, you definitely have to put James Storm over. Right now, Kurt Angle, he's a part-time wrestler at best. He's a special attraction character for TNA Wrestling.
Focus on the Olympics?
And if he's going to focus on the Olympics, James Storm needs to take Kurt Angle out. Not on a date, but physically. He needs to put the boots to him, the cowboy boot to him, the cowboy hat to him. Whatever you got to do, you got to knock Kurt Angle out of the ring for at least a couple months. And that's what should happen Sunday night with James Storm beating Kurt Angle.
TNA Tag Team Championships will be on the line as the endorsed Crimson teams up with Matt Morgan to defend their Tag Team Championships against Samoa Joe and Magnus. I don't know the last time we saw either of those two on a pay-per-view, but I have no problem with it. It's a wild card tournament. Joe and Magnus win.
And you know what? Joe and Magnus did a great job of beating teams that beat themselves, if that makes any sense. I mean, Kaz pretty much gift-wrapped a world title shot to Joe and Magnus. You got to wonder, though, are they going to start developing that feud between Morgan and Crimson again?
Sort of dropped it, didn't they?
They did, but you know it's still simmering.
I like them as a tag team.
I don't think Joe and Magnus are ready to beat these guys yet. I would like to see that saved for another team that they might be trying to build down the road. But Morgan and Crimson are just rolling. Right now, Crimson is their money guy. They seem to really like him. They want to do big things with him. We're talking about Impact Wrestling. There's only a handful of guys right now that they're going to try to push.
Yeah, and I endorsed Crimson.
Yes, you did.
So I'm smiling.
After I first put him over. But that's fine. But Morgan and Crimson should retain their TNA Tag Team Championships.
Next matchup, Monsters Ball match. Been a while since we've seen that one, and it's Abyss's matchup. And he goes up against Bully Ray. This one could be fun. It's gonna be a bit of a mess.
It's gonna
be fun just because of all the toys.
It's gonna be a freaking train wreck. And this is the match that if Abyss wins, he gets to leave Immortal for good.
But if he
loses, he has to stay in Immortal. Now, normally when a guy has his own match, you would think he's the odds-on favorite.
Normally.
Right? We're talking about Impact Wrestling. If I'm booking this, I'm going to let Bully Ray.
What?
Yes, beat Abyss to just keep him in Immortal and just have that feud build where he's the unreluctant heel, the henchman that goes out there and does the dirty work against his will to gain sympathy for Abyss. So when he finally does break free, it means a lot more. You don't like that?
Not surprising. I would have to say this is going to be Abyss's match.
It is Abyss's match. He should win. But if you want to keep things different and put some more heat on Immortal, because right now they got nothing going for him. Wouldn't you agree?
I would agree.
I
Yeah,
mean,
totally.
if this happens, then Immortal should disband, because Bully Ray and Scott Steiner and Eric Bischoff and Gunner, there's nothing immortal about those guys.
Knockouts championship on the line. Gail Kim versus Mickie James. What do you think's going to happen here?
Boy, I don't know. I mean, Gail Kim has been rolling. She's on top of the world. Mickie James is being paid a lot of money to be in Impact Wrestling.
Karen Jarrett gone. Madison Rayne not in charge. What about Velvet Sky? There's a lot going on here.
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep it on Gail Kim right now. Just let her stay champ. Let her be the heel, the queen bee of the Knockouts division. Let the baby faces keep chasing her, so on and so forth. But yeah, right now, I mean, it's so hard to fantasy book a TNA pay-per-view because you never know what is going to happen in that company. You never know who's in the doghouse, who isn't. I mean, I'm surprised Eric Bischoff's kid isn't on this show.
Garrett
Bischoff.
Is that with one T or two T's?
It doesn't matter.
You can ask Eric Bischoff on Twitter.
There you go.
TNA World Championship on the line. It is going to be Bobby Roode defending his strap that he said he will lose at no cost. Will keep at all costs.
There you go.
To Jeff Hardy, who gets the championship opportunity that he earned after defeating Jeff Jarrett.
This match means more for Bobby Roode than his match against Kurt Angle at Bound for Glory.
This match means more for Bobby Roode than his match against Kurt Angle at Bound for Glory. How so?
Because Jeff Hardy has come back. He's proven himself to the TNA office, to the TNA fans, that he's back, his mind is right, he's healthy, he's a top star. Kurt Angle is a far better wrestler than Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
But Bound for Glory was so far long ago, and it wasn't the match that Bobby Roode had hoped for.
Right.
If he goes out there and has a convincing match, a good guy, bad guy match, where he leaves the champion, and I don't care if he cheats to win or beats
He's almost got to
clean.
cheat.
He does, because that's how he gets heat on himself. That's how he develops himself into becoming that top guy. By him beating Jeff Hardy, elevates him more than if he would have beaten Kurt Angle.
Sunday, January 29th, 5 o'clock bell time. It's Great Lakes Championship Wrestling back at the Horny Goat Hideaway. Come down and see live pro wrestling featuring stars such as Robbie E. from TNA Wrestling, Rhino, Scotty 2 Hottie, Al Snow, and former WCW star Gorgeous George. Stick around after the wrestling for a free viewing of the WWE Royal Rumble on the Midwest's largest television. GLCW, the Pro Wrestling Report, the Horny Goat Hideaway, and the Royal Rumble, all in one place on one night. For all you great fans, go to pwrshow.com for more information. pwrshow.com.
So, with all that being said, my guy will retain his TNA Impact Wrestling Heavyweight Championship and defeat Jeff Hardy.
At the end of the day, nothing significant happens on this pay-per-view you just said. If you were booking it.
Right.
Devon defeats the Pope. Is there custody involved there?
This is significant. James Storm, over
James
Kurt
Storm,
Angle.
for entertainment purposes only, defeats Kurt Angle. Matt Morgan and Crimson retain the tag team titles. Crimson is endorsed over Joe and Magnus. Bully Ray defeats Abyss in his own match, a Monsters Ball match. Has Abyss ever lost one of those?
I'm sure he has to somebody.
Gail Kim retains the Knockouts Championship against Mickie James, Hardcore Country. And Jeff Hardy does not become the new TNA World Champion at Genesis this Sunday night. What will really happen? Well, tune in to Genesis, but if you're not going to do that,
Here you go.
Is it the moment?
Yeah.
You are DWHSing.
That Bobby Roode leaves the TNA World Impact Heavyweight Champion.
DWHS, meaning David Hero, has spoken. I thought maybe you'd do that with the Pope and Devon.
I'm not allowed to do anything with Pope anymore.
Well, because you stole.
Restraining orders.
DWHS says Bobby Roode retains the TNA World Championship. Sunday night on pay-per-view, it's TNA Genesis. After the pay-per-view, if you don't get a chance to watch it on pay-per-view, you can tune into the Pro Wrestling Report post-show. The post-show with myself and David Hero. What are you doing over there?
Nothing.
I felt you move.
I'm always moving. I'm a ball of energy.
It's the post-show on Blog Talk Radio for the Pro Wrestling Report, where we talk about all that happened on TNA Genesis on pay-per-view. So be sure to tune in and be a part of it. You can give us your call, give us your thoughts, your comments about the pay-per-view. Will it happen the way David Hero has said, and will the DWHS moment come to light? Bobby Roode defeating Jeff Hardy to retain that TNA World Championship. We will find out Sunday at Genesis. For David Hero, this is Damian Nelson saying thank you for tuning in to Be the Booker for TNA Genesis.